You know, it makes me think of David Rockefeller. I want to call in to tech support because my bitch bot seems to be malfunctioning. It won't stop grabbing my pasty white booty.
Yes, I do it really good, David Rockefeller. Come on, admit it, right? Let's talk about David Rockefeller because as I was ending that last segment, I was talking about the religion that has to be brought about. We got to have a fake religion, a bunch of fake churches, and a cult for the new world. Well, in the authorized biography of the Rockefellers, there's in fact an entire chapter on the new fake religion. And back in the 30s, yes, 1932, the 30s, Daddy Rockefeller, okay, Jr., he says we got to have a world religion. And this world religion will be able to bring about our global plan better than anything else, right? Because everybody needs a religion. Everybody needs something to believe in. It's one of the easiest tools from the elite perspective, right? For how to manipulate the population. So $75 million back in the 30s, that's, you know, basically a zillion dollars today, according to accurate mathematical formulations. Imagine how much money. So what was the purpose of this? To create the global fake ecumenist movement, right? And so the Rockefellers not only did that, they also set up the Riverside Church, which had these statues to people like Darwin and Moses, and just a bizarre mix. But the whole chapter ends here, page 155, by saying that together with the money donated to countless seminaries across the country, $75 million would be given everywhere, just spread out, making it rain everywhere, right? To create a national council of churches. And this national council of churches would be an engine to promote liberation theology, right? Yes, liberation theology. It's a Rockefeller. Did you know that the Rockefellers are big fans of liberation theology? Now, why would they be fans of communist ideas? I just can't figure out why anybody with a lot of money would like communism. That doesn't make any sense because the communists are against the people with money, right? No, they're not. Always, all the way back to Quigley. Go back to Quigley, right? When he's talking about the French Revolution, those commies in the French Revolution. Guess where they got their money? From banking elite, from wealthy Protestant and Swiss and other families. There's a whole chapter Quigley has on that. The French Revolution getting all this money to destroy the country. Do you think it's any different now? Well, no, it's not any different, right? Who are the protesters in the street, right? They're fighting the system, and the entire system's giving them hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, it's ludicrous. But once you understand that the richest people on the planet love communism, I mean, they love it. It's their favorite thing, right? They lick their lips at communism. They want to lick Marx's beard. They want to eat the food out of Karl Marx's beard. That's how much they love communism, right? And they openly say it, right? In the 1978 or 9 editorial from a China Traveler by David Rockefeller. There's also a lesser known essay, by the way, in Yale. There was the old Yale publication about Mao. Mao was a Yali. Did you know that? Yale in China. And this essay talks about, it's Yale's publication, that the Skull and Bone Society wanted to put Mao into power to have this revolution in China, to completely, basically rewrite the country. That's why, as I'm sure you've heard Alex mention many times, Chiang Kai-shek, they discarded him, get him out of here, and let's put our full weight and support behind Mao. In fact, I've got Bill Donovan, right, founder of the OSS. I've got his autobiography. He brags about it. He says, we wanted to put Mao in, right? This is a great thing, right? To destroy this whole country. It was so great. Then fast forward, you've got in the middle of David Rockefeller's memoirs, he says, the whole Nixon thing, remember Nixon going to China, right? He says, no, that was actually me. He says, I wanted to put Chase Bank in communist China so that it would be the bank. And he brags about that. That's why he writes the China Traveler editorial, bragging and saying that was all engineered so that David Rockefeller could get his thing going in China. Now, I mentioned the religion earlier in terms of older plans with H.G. Wells and these characters. I didn't even know about this book, and this is what I do all the time: read all these nerdy, boring books. And what do you know? H.G. Wells has a book about the coming religion. It's called God, the Invisible King. And you see that title and you think, well, that sounds good. I mean, H.G. Wells, he believes in God, right? H.G. Wells was a hardcore communist who said, the family, it's gone. We got to end the family. That's the enemy number one, right? Traditional religion, enemy number two. Nation states, enemy number three, right? I mean, just total lunatic. And all of his science fiction, by the way, he transmits the same idea throughout all of his science fiction. But he wrote this obscure book that I came across, and he outlines what the coming religion is. And it might surprise you because you think, well, he's going to say it's like a atheistic thing and it's all fake. Actually, he says that we do have a personal deity that we believe in. Now, he does say it's like personified generic nature and evolutionary process. Yeah. But on page 101, he says that we're not talking about Jesus. We don't want none of that Jesus. Get that out of here. That's not what we're talking about. He says our God is Prometheus. What? Yes. It's like that angel of light, Lucifer. He says that's our real God. Literally, Lucifer. Now, you can debate whether he thought that was a real entity or whether it was just some sort of symbolic thing, but he kind of goes back and forth in the book. He doesn't seem to say for sure whether he thinks it's, but it's basically it's an antichrist type of thing is what I'm trying to get at here, right? I mean, it doesn't matter whether he thinks it's a real entity or not. He's basically saying, I serve this antichrist spirit that I'm going to call Lucifer that's going to erect the scientific Star Trek utopia. Literally, he says the Star Trek utopia. He says in the other book, either Open Conspiracy or New World Order, he says, you've all got to die for our Star Trek future. We're going to have a federation of planets and all this kind of stuff. And you all got to die. But look, at least you're going to die for something good. At least I'm going to give you something to die for. Don't you appreciate that? So I can go be Captain Kirk, right? Flying around, having sex with the green space women, right? That's what he says. He doesn't say the space women, but you know what I mean. And so, look, what I'm trying to get across is that whether we go back 100 years or whether we go back to, or whether we fast forward to the present day, what I mentioned last time with Alex, right? The head of Davos, Klaus Schwab, he writes a whole book saying exactly the same thing that the people 100 years ago said.